Hey there, everyone. Tim Tweedy, the principal of Holton Middle High School, looking to bring you some important information regarding our end of the year events, specifically those involving the class of 2021. In this screencast, which I hope lasts about 10 minutes or so, I'm going to look to bring you information about graduation, finals week, last chapel, the slideshow, the video night, the parade, and any other events that the seniors will have here coming up in the next 10 days or so. So I hope you find this to be very useful. I'm going to start by talking about the final schedule as that begins here in just a few hours. As I record this on Monday, the night of May 24th, the seniors are preparing for their first sets of finals, which will take place tomorrow morning. Our seniors have their first finals for their blocks 1 and 2 classes tomorrow during the regular class times. They will then attend the regular blocks 3 and 4 classes as they prepare for the finals that they'll have on Thursday. They'll also do something similar on Wednesday. They will have their block 1 and 2 finals for their black classes and then attend their regular 3 and 4 classes to prepare for the finals that they'll have on Friday. Speaking of Friday, you can see that senior laptop turn-in concludes. And it's actually just a little bit more than that. We are hoping to have all laptops, chargers, and carrying cases returned to us by Friday at 1:30 at the latest. If any very special and rare requests need to come in, those need to be cleared through the office. If students are finishing up any work that still needs to be turned in, let's say maybe they're working on it over the weekend. But the goal is for all of our seniors to be done by Friday so they can simply enjoy next week. So please turn in all that technology, but also turn in any musical instruments. Please turn in any library books that you may owe, any athletic uniforms that maybe need to be turned in. Make sure that you take care of any fines if there's anything like that, and any other school-issued materials that need to come back. Please make sure that's done by Friday at 1:30. When you do that, you'll be able to pick up your cap and gown once everything is taken care of, and any school-approved and issued regalia that can be worn at graduation will also be given out at that time. So that's kind of tied to making sure we get the things back that we need to have back. So that's mostly this week. And again, this video will cover the last chapel, the slideshow, video night. We just had prom on Saturday. But I want to start with talking about graduation, as I'm sure that's where most questions lie. So our graduation will be on Thursday, June 3rd. That's about a week and a half from now. And the events will start at 5 p.m. We will once again have a parade for the seniors that will lead them with an escort from some of our local law enforcement all the way up to Holton International Airport. That parade staging is going to begin at 5 o'clock right in the high school parking lot. There we'll have help from members of the Holton Police Department preparing. They're going to sort you by your vehicle size. So let's talk about that for just a second. As was the case with last year, if you have a smaller vehicle, you're more likely to be down front as they will put you in one staging area. There's going to be a second staging area for medium-sized car, mid-sized cars, and then a third one for much bigger vehicles in the back. What's the reason for that? It's for optimal viewing, making sure that everybody has a chance to get to see their loved ones graduate. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about some of that in a minute. But that parade piece is essential and necessary for anybody who wants to get into graduation. In order to get in at the airport, because that is a fenced-in area, you're going to have your ticket to get in. Why? Because that keeps everybody in town from coming to the event, because again, we're mostly concerned with loved ones getting to see the event. And if you open it up to anybody and they can just go in on the apron, which at the airport, which is not allowed anyway, we had to go through a lot of FAA regulations to make sure we could have the event there. We are limited on space, but also viewing we know is very important. So you got to have a ticket. In order to get that, you've got to participate in the parade. So please plan on that. The staging begins at 5 p.m. It's going to take about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes tops to make sure we do that. So the early birds will kind of be there in line first. And we'll leave the school at 6:15 p.m. The other thing you should know when you get to the school for the parade staging is we're going to give you your program for graduation so you know what order in which things will happen. We'll also be giving you any special instructions that are going to have to go with the ceremony, like what channel you might want to tune your radio into in order to be able to, if you want to listen to it on WHOU. They're going to use a transmitter as they did last year to make sure that you can hear the event well. So all of that information will come to you, and we're going to try to make it really easy for you. When our parade leaves the school, we're going to turn left onto Randall Street, take a right onto Pleasant, cross the Highland Avenue Bridge, go to the end of the street, and take a left onto Washburn. From there, we'll take a left heading southbound on the North Road, and we'll cross the North Street Bridge, go up onto Main Street, through Market Square. We hope there's lots of folks coming out to celebrate these seniors and to see them on their way to their graduation. We'll take a right onto Court Street, a left onto Military, and then the police and fire department and other folks will help lead the processional all the way to the International Airport, where a team of us will be waiting to receive the seniors and making preparations for the rest of the event. The first people should land at the airport about 6:30. It's going to take, we guess, about a half hour or so to get everybody parked, as we're expecting somewhere between 85 and 100 vehicles up there. That's going to fill that whole apron area in front of the hangar. So it will take about a half hour, and then we look to start the ceremony right at 7 o'clock, which is our scheduled beginning time. Again, I know some folks have had questions as we start to talk here about graduation. I'm about to show you a diagram that'll show kind of the layout of the area. But there's some good questions. Why is it that we're not in the arena? And I can tell you the number one reason for that is requests from our seniors. We've talked about that as some restrictions have been able to be lifted in some places. And our seniors have been very adamant about the fact that they would like to keep it up there. They liked what they saw last year, and it's what we'd promised them because we put the plans out prior to some of the most recent changes. So it is what we're going to do. It's very popular with the kids. We also understand, though, that it may limit how many people can go. So, look at this as like you would a college graduation. Try to I know when I graduated with both my graduate and undergraduate, I was limited to having 4 guests there. There are some graduations that simply have had no guests. We're limiting it to the one vehicle that the seniors are allowed, and that's really about the optimal viewing, but also because of the restrictions that we have having it at the airport. Here's a diagram of what it's going to kind of look like up there. You can see in my beautiful drawing, here is the hangar with our stage. Here's where we're going to seat the graduates. So this is a little bit different from what we did last year. The graduates are going to be able to get out of their vehicles and come sit as a class. They didn't get the chance to do that last year. That did not fit within the guidelines that the state had released and told us that we could do, but that is allowable this year. So the students will be able to come and sit here in this area, and then the rest of their families in the vehicles parked behind them. Of course, they're facing the stage, unlike in my diagram. So the students will be facing the stage, and I'm going to click back on the diagram in just a minute, kind of talk about how to come up. We're going to have students where they're not marching in as they would have in the past. We're going to have students come up and receive their diplomas in alphabetical order. So I can tell you right now, Marco Almonte is going to receive his diploma first, and Jacob Anthony will receive his second, and Claire Appleton third, and so on down the line. So we'll have our regular speakers that speak at graduation, your valedictorian, your class president, and others. But when it's time to receive diplomas, this is where it impacts most students and families. The students will be here. The first 10 people will come up, and they'll enter the hangar just on if they're facing the left-hand side of the stage, and they'll just come and get in line back here. And this will have a team of people throughout the entire ceremony. All you really need to do is look for somebody in an orange vest. We've got a team of law enforcement and staff from the school that have volunteered to come up and be a part of this event. Their job is to make it easy for you. So as parents, you really don't need to wonder what's going on through the event. Essentially, when it's time for kids to get the diploma, you just need to be aware of that part. And so this is what we're talking about. Essentially count out about 10 spots. So Marco will automatically go to the first. Our second student we said was Jacob Anthony. So he'll come to this second slot. We'll load up the first 10 people. And then after that, once a name's called, the next person will just fill the line and go to the next spot. So as soon as Jacob's name's called, for example, Ben Carmichael will come next. Once Jacob Anthony's name's called, Lewis Cole will come next, and so on and so forth. As we did last year, students will have the option, and this seemed to be very popular, of having their parents come up with them. The way that will work is once you're here, you're going to be next to go. I will read your name. Mrs. Halliday will be standing up here at the X, ready to present you your diploma. The student will walk up by themselves first, receive their diploma, have a picture, and then they'll wait. And Joe Sear will be down in this area somewhere right in front of our seniors in a designated area. And the parents can come up and join their student up on the stage and get a second photo. So you get one by yourself as a graduate, and you get one with your parents or guardians. If you have step parents and you want to have both sets come up, that's fine as well. We do ask, we do want to limit it. Let's not have boyfriends and girlfriends come up on stage or, siblings. It's going to be limited to parents and step parents or guardians if you're raised by grandparents or another guardian. But feel free to be invited to come up and have that second and third picture with your graduate. There were some students who elected just to have their own photo, and that is completely fine. We simply invite the parents. We do not require them to have to do it. Once those photos are taken, you'll exit the stage down here. We're going to have a table down in this area. Any awards that are received, anything that we need to give you, scholarships or things of that nature, any gifts that you may receive, will be down here on a table with some staff members, and they'll hand those to you on your way back out. So any gifts from last chapel and that sort of thing, they'll all be down there. And it's really that simple. In a couple of days, we're going to have the program done, so you'll see the order in which things will happen. But for the most part, unless you have a speaking part, your job is simply to come, enjoy the event, listen, probably have some emotions, and then come up simply when it's time to receive the diploma. And again, the first 10 people will already be in here, and then after that, we just fill them one at a time. So just kind of be paying attention as to whose name's called. And if you have any questions, come in the hangar and look for one of the people in the orange vests to help you out. Okay? You don't need to pay attention to this too much because they will be listed alphabetically on the program that we'll put out in a couple of days, and that too will help you. Some friendly reminders as I wrap things up here. Again, that airport space is limited. They have to call Boston at the FAA down there to shut the area down. So we don't have as much freedom as what it would be if we were having it at a different site. But we are so thankful to the folks, Chris Stewart with our Public Works and the folks up at the airport do so much work to help make this possible. So, we certainly want to abide by what it is that they ask of us. Speaking of what they ask for us, I know it's been a long time tradition that I can't wait to get back to in future years, but no silly string, no confetti poppers and those sorts of things, because if they get into the tires of the airplanes, if they get stuck on the runway or the apron, that causes some issues. So please, none of that stuff out there, or I'm afraid we'll never be invited back if we need to host any future events there for any reason. Again, you need to participate in the parade in order to attend. Otherwise, there's going to be folks up there at the airport that they simply won't let you in. And again, that is really to kind of look out for families to make sure that it is only that limited number of people there. Otherwise, people won't be able to see the graduates, and that's the whole point. It's not like having it in a smaller venue like the arena. It's a big area up there, so that's the reason behind that. We do encourage the students and families to decorate cars. I will say it's got to be school related, so let's keep things appropriate. We don't need anything political. It's a school graduation, so decorate it up, black and white, whatever. Put some stuff on there and have some fun with it, please. You certainly don't have to, but let's encourage you to decorate, but just make sure that we proceed with a tiny bit of caution. We have hired a photographer. Photos will be free. The district has hired Joseph Sear. He's going to upload the photos after the ceremony, and we'll make sure we put information out to you as to how you can access those photos, again, for free. Dress requirements. I put this out in the frequently asked questions. We've shared this information with seniors, but there are dress requirements for the students. For the boys, dress pants, a collared shirt. We encourage you to wear a tie. You got to have dress shoes. For the girls, it can be anything, from a dress to dress pants for you as well. We say no flip-flops. Students, both boys and girls, no sneakers. And look, If you can't afford it, I know this can be an expensive time, you're saving up for whatever comes next, ask us at the school. There are folks who tend to donate a little bit of money for things like this. We will gladly take you to the store and get you dress pants, dress shoes, a collared shirt, a dress, whatever it is you may need. But please, if you show up there with jeans, I don't want to do this. We're not going to turn you away from getting your diploma, but it is required to be in the ceremony itself, okay? So please make sure you do what you need to as far as the dress requirements. We will have bathroom facilities available. We'll have a couple of them stationed up on each side of the apron at the airport. We will be streaming the event live on WHOU.live. Fred and crew at WHOU always do a great job. You'll be able to go on there and watch the event. So please spread the word on that and tell that to your loved ones who are not able to make the event. The Holton Alumni Association always purchase DVDs. Those will be made available to the graduates in the days following and will be distributed them for free. And we always thank the Alumni Association for taking care of that. Last couple of things. Graduation is not the only event taking place that week. Last Chapel this year, once again, will be held virtually. We'd already made the preparations for that. Folks had submitted video clips, awarding scholarships and awards and that sort of thing. And honestly, it seemed to work out really well last year. It was popular because it allowed for more folks to kind of participate when they could send in a video clip, especially if they live from far away. And it cut down on the time, too, of the event. So Last Chapel will be at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, June 1st. And like we did last year, our slideshow and video tribute to the seniors will be at 7 p.m. on Wednesday, June 2nd. So it's sure to be an incredibly fun week. Don't be afraid to ask questions if you have them. I can assure you we have, we've tried to do everything we can to make this a memorable event. A lot of changes happening in society. And with that comes a lot of opinions, but we have kept the needs of the students, we believe, at the forefront. We've listened to them a lot. We've talked with them. We've met with their officers, met with the class as a whole, and we're trying to do right by them and taken a lot of their suggestions into consideration as we've made plans with what we've had to work with. So please, I ask you to remember that. We're working on 17 and a half minutes. That's longer than I planned, so I don't want to take any more time. If you have questions, make sure you call the main office. You can ask either one of the secretaries. You can ask for any of our staff. And just remember, we've got a lot of plans in place. It takes a lot of people to pull this off, about 50 people, I would say, with all the law enforcement and school personnel. So a lot of planning's gone into this. We want to make it as easy as possible for you. Look for those people in the orange vests the night of graduation. They'll help make your night easy. That's all I have. Feel free to message me if you've got questions. Thanks, everyone.